I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
I know that guy. He's all right. Good job. Welcome, everyone, to our December meeting of the Greencastle School Board. Glad to see everybody here. All right, we're going to start off. I'm going to get myself organized with any adjustments to the agenda.
Yep, there are no adjustments to the agenda this month.
Outstanding. All right, moving on to recognitions.
All right.
You're already up.
It is my pleasure to introduce you guys to Jamison Pettit. Jamison is our Student of the Month at Deer Meadow. And Jamison was nominated for his outstanding growth in self-control. So over the past few months, he's shown a lot of growth in this area. He's made remarkable progress in making thoughtful choices, both in the classroom and during group activities, whether it's waiting his turn to speak or staying focused on tasks. Jamison consistently demonstrates self-control. His ability to stay calm and work through challenges has not only improved his learning, but has also created a positive example for his classmates. His hard work and dedication to self-improvement make him a deserving nominee for the Student of the Month. So stand up here and I've got something for you, okay?
Nice job.
So, Mom and Dad, if you guys want to join us, we'll go get pictures.
Good evening. I am proud to introduce Addie, who is our Character Trait of the Month winner for RidPath. We've been focusing on self-control in the month of December. So Addie is a strong example of self-control in the classroom. She listens, she follows directions, and she stays focused on her work. She consistently raises her hand instead of calling out. She waits her turn, and she pays attention during all lessons. She's patient and can handle changes without becoming upset. Addie's self-control helps her stay engaged in the learning and contributes positively to the classroom environment. She's a wonderful first grader and a great example of self-control. So congratulations to Addie.
Look at that sweater. I like that.
I am going to introduce Miss Emily Dickey, who nominated our Student of the Month for self-control for this month.
This is Brinley Tucker, and it was such an easy decision to choose Brinley for our Student of the Month this month. Brinley has done such a good job growing this semester so far. I've gotten her for a couple of months, but the hard work that she has shown is incredible. She has shown so much self-control when it comes to her hard work, her schoolwork, her friendships, everything like that. So it was no big deal at all to choose for her Student of the Month. It's a very good job. Our Student of the Month for middle school is going to be coming in January.
And our student is Jacob Wall, and he's going to try to come next. He's a swimmer, so that also maybe we're going to try to do it next.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations. Okay, moving on to public comments. I didn't see anyone signed up for public comments, so moving on from that to the approval of consent agenda, which includes the regular board meeting minutes of November 24, 2025, the allowance of claims, financial report, and personnel reports 1 and 2, which are posted. Mrs. Romer.
Yes, hello everyone. As usual, we've got a couple payrolls for you to review for November 2025. The first one was dated 7th for a total payroll of $469, $387.44. And as usual, we've got those payroll taxes and some retirement for that 7th payroll. $133,561.16. The second regular payroll in November was dated the 21st, $519,178.72. You'll see that one was a little bit higher. We had some settlement for salaried folks on that payroll, so it was a little bit higher. Along with that payroll came the payroll and retirement, $153,501.61. And of course, if your payroll is going to be higher, everything else is going to be higher as well. Did anyone have any questions about payrolls? No? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to some prepays for November 2025. As you went through this list, did anyone have any questions about anything?
No.
No? Okay. So the total prepays that we had for November 2025 was $390,178.28. And then we've got some claims that are dated today, December 15th. As you look through those, the list of those claims, did anyone have a question about anything?
No.
Nope. Okay. Total claims dated today, December 15th, 2025, $311,152.08. We'll go ahead and move on to the fund report in your packet. The balance in education fund, the end of November 2025, $3,723,780.79. Ops is just a couple of rows down. That would be Fund 300. You'll see that the balance in there is $249,641.80. Total in all funds, if you go to the last page, is at $9,046,461.90. Next in your package, you're going to see the depository statement, and what that is all the balance in all banks should equal the balance in all of our funds. You'll see that we do balance with our banks. That last number on your fund report is also on your depository statement, so that means we're all in balance. Next in your package, you've got a fund transfer report. And as usual, you do give me authorization to transfer between banks. So I do that sometimes to cover checks, hard copy checks that we need to send out. We also have the school lunch rate transfer for October on there. And then, of course, the education to ops transfer. Total for those transfers done in November 2025, $719,181.52.
I might interject real quickly there is that transfer amount from education fund to operations fund is a little bit less than is customary. And so we are shorting that transfer to stay under the 50% transfer rule from education to ops. So you're allowed to transfer up to 15% of your total revenue in education fund. And we know based on our fall student count, we have fewer students, therefore we took in less funds from the DOE, and so we've made that adjustment, and we will also do that with our December transfer.
Okay. Yep. We'll go ahead and run over the bond balances. Bond 2021, you've got your balance there at the end of November 2025. There's no new expenditures in there. And then the balance in bond 2022, you've got our total expenditures through November 2025. You're also going to see bolded there our balance in that fund. That's actually through the bond bank. And once again, I know you've heard me say this nearly every month for the last few months, we're holding that for retainage. So, okay. And then we've got some of the expenditures for GeoBond 2024. It's quite lengthy, but as usual, just go ahead and look at that last column there. We've got our running balance there. So if you go to the very last line on page 5, you're going to see what our balance is in Geo 2024. We do have some encumbrances, but not too many in there. But that's essentially what our balance was at the end of November. And pending any questions, I'd like to submit for approval.
Okay. Any questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve? Motion. A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Thank you, Ms. Rubin. Okay, moving on to the reports. And we'll start with the Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. McPherson.
I do want to point out we have our new middle school ag teacher with us that is on our personnel report.
Very nice.
Yay. So we are excited
Welcome.
to have her join us next semester and already working with Mr. Sillery at the high school. So we're excited about that program and having her with us. So thank you and welcome.
So Delaney.
Yeah.
And could you pronounce your last name for me? Heminger. Okay. One of us. So yeah, we're excited to have her working alongside Mr. Sillery, to grow our ag program. We got an excited student group. It's taken off and doing well, and we're looking forward to taking our program to new, greater heights.
Welcome. I just have a couple of student recognitions. So on, not Friday, it's Thursday, Allie Landry was honored as the DAR essay winner. So that was really exciting for her. And then also, we have 4 juniors who have been recognized as Indiana Rising Stars for their academic excellence. Those are Fisher Barkus, Cyrus Gernon, Lily Green, and Ellie Tischer. So we're really proud of them and the work that they do. Our middle of the year data is wrapping up. We're hoping to finish it all this week, hopefully, depending on weather. And so in January, I will have a middle of the year data report for you to share on where we're going and what it looks like for the end of the year too. So, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to Mr. Gibbon.
Yeah, I just have a couple of items this month. We received our, if you don't mind taking one, pass it down, received our 1782 budget notice, our budget order for 2026. And so what I'm passing out to you is just our historical tax rate comparisons. On the left-hand side, the similar kind of budget process is what we advertise and what we use as an estimated assessed value. And on the far right-hand side, you see our certified budget order. So if you could direct your attention to the bottom right-hand corner, our 2026 certified rate is $1.2680. That's a decrease of just under a penny from last year's total rate. If you could also direct your attention to debt service, you'll notice a rate of 0.6199. If you look to preceding years up above, dating back to 2023, you can see that rate has held constant. And because that's a promise that we made our taxpayers, is that debt service rate would be neutral with the building project that we implemented. And so I actually had to direct, we were approved for a higher rate, but I directed the DLGF today to go ahead and cut that. And so we decreased that just by under 3 cents from where it could have been. The operations fund rate is just under a penny less than last year. And again, we saw a little bit of growth and increased assessed value. And so that lowered the rate slightly there. So we're looking at $1.2680 for 2026. So I just wanted to share that information.
Good news. I like it.
The other item you kind of heard bits and pieces and I shared information is our the former maintenance area at the high school. It's pretty much been fully vacated and it has been painted. Walls are white. The ductwork is purple. Just over there today, it looks amazing. So it's much improved. They're supposed to mop it tonight because our goal is to have ag and FFA utilize that space in addition to the overall kind of reorganization of our Tiger Cub Collective business, trying to just shore up and organize those spaces, maybe free up some space in the wood shop. But it's nice because Mr. Sillery and the kids are going to have spaces to be filled out, spaces to meet. It's just going to be a much better setup for the long term. And then we've had a lot of Christmas concerts. We still have some Christmas or holiday concerts yet to take place, but the students and staff have just done an absolutely fabulous job. And obviously, kind of having to make adjustments here or there with the weather. Band concert was absolutely fabulous. They did a great job. I was telling this story that it's just amazing the growth that takes place from the beginning of the year to even just December. So our teachers are working miracles with those kids. And then just to touch base on a couple of things is as we do potentially look to issuing a smaller GO bond of 2026, looking to identify what those projects might be. We know that one of those items might have to be a Deer Meadow roof while we continue the path that we're on, potentially legally or with insurance. We have some repairs that we do have to make on this building with our EFS delaminating off the sides of the building, but that wasn't something we're able to do with the weather change in the fall. But potentially is now the time to take care of the Mackinac, depending on potential replacement costs. We have to protect that investment. That in itself might be the potential project. But that can has been kind of kicked down the road, so to speak, too often. I feel like it's something that we might potentially need to address. So I'll continue to share information with you on those things, but just kind of wanted to give a quick update on those.
Okay. Any questions from anyone? Nope. No, very good. Moving on to old business, we have none. Moving on to new business. Looks like we have an approval request for permission to pay late arriving 2025 invoices.
Yeah, so this is a customary end of the year thing. We want to pay 2025 obligations with 2025 appropriations. So we expect some final invoices to reach us before the end of the year and after this board meeting. We will pay those. We'd like to pay those things up again on time, but we will report back to you on those payments.
Okay. Any questions? No. All right. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
The motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion will carry. All right. We have an approval request for a land use agreement, April 1st, 2026 to March 31st of 2027.
Yeah, so this really isn't anything new to speak, or so to speak. It's the land behind the transportation center rather than pay somebody to mow it. We worked out a partnership with a local farmer to farm that for a small cost, of which we provide that cost to our Greencastle FFA and ag classes. And so we have a new agreement with, bear with me here, Cedar View Farm LLC. This is Ron Sutherland in place of Ryan Sutherland, who previously leased the ground from us. There are no other changes being proposed to the agreement other than the date and an individual leasing the ground.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Approval request for authorization to deed transportation center land to the city of Greencastle.
Yeah, so this one might look a little bit similar because you already authorized the sale of the land. But ultimately, this is to clean up some paperwork because the way it stands, the land at the transportation center is deeded to the Greencastle Municipal Corporation Building Corporation. And so one of the things that they have to do as the building corporation is essentially deed the land to Greencastle Community School Corporation, who may then sign the deed over to the city of Greencastle. And so this board action allows, essentially authorizes for the board president and the secretary to deed that land over to the city of Greencastle after the Greencastle School Building Corporation has deeded it. So it's not changing anything, it's just streamlining the paperwork. Lori Hardwick contacted me last week and brought this to my attention, and so I've been working with Mr. Rund and her to streamline this.
Any questions? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will-
Abstain.
Yeah, very good. We have one abstain. That motion will carry. All right. We have an approval request for some donations, it looks like. Looks like we have DePaul University to Greencastle High School Tiger Cub Collective for $5,000. And Gary and Linda Huber Fund for Cultural Arts and Learning to the High School Band, Choir Art, GMS Band, Choir Art, and TZ Music and Art for $8,560. It looks like each department will receive $1,070. Very cool. Can I get a motion to accept those?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Thank you for those donations. Now we have an approval request for the second reading of Neola policies.
Yep,
Looks like Mr. Case, I think, is going to read all these to us.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, very good. I like that.
So the board had these for a first reading last month, and now it's time for second reading adoption. That would be my recommendation. Pending any questions?
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the Neola policies? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion on the matter? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. All right. And it looks like we have the first reading of the 2027-28 academic year calendar.
Yep. So seeking no action tonight, but as you're aware, we work to keep our calendar 2 years out, so that way if DePaul can align with ours, it's helpful because we share families. So in your packet, I have two options really. They're pretty much both corresponding dates calendars. The difference being option B includes several additional snow makeup days in it, which then makes some kind of slight adjustments here or there. I plan to bring the calendar back for board approval in January.
Does anyone have any questions?
No, but I'll always say that I know it's beating a dead horse and this is beyond you, but
Yeah.
the closer we can get to a county calendar makes sense in my mind.
Yes.
And if there's any way that we can continue to work towards that, I think it is much needed, and I will always push for that.
Agreed.
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 Yeah, it's tough with 30-30 up there, for sure.
Which both of these should be pretty close to being aligned with the other county school districts. The challenge is throughout the year, some people have an additional day built in here and there, which we don't, but they're all relatively similar.
Okay. And moving on to other business.
I have no other business except after this meeting.
Very good.
Back to school for tomorrow.
Yep. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Givney and your crew for monitoring the weather and the conditions, keeping our students and faculty safe, making good decisions as far as when and where to get people to school and keeping them home. So I know it's a tough decision. You're never going to be 100% right in everybody's mind. So it is what it is. So
Agreed.
thank you for that, and to all your staff for sticking it out at home. Very cool. Does anyone have anything further?
We not.
All right, hearing nothing further, I would like to get a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Does anyone have any discussion on that matter?
Never.
Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone oppose? All right, the motion carries. Thank you all. Have a safe night.
Abstain.
All right, abstain from that.
Yeah.